Alright, welcome back. Still going on the F-14 Tomcat. Skymaster type. Okay, so just an update. I went back, redid all the hard mounts blocks for the elevators, or the stabs. So they're rock solid now. I had to do some alignment adjustment with the servo to get the bearing to be basically parallel to the shaft, so there was no binding, and I mentioned that in the video that I did prior to this. After that, I started working kind of on the last headache, which was getting the gear and the gear doors functioning properly. I switched out the Robart air valves I had with two Airtronic or Jetronic air valves, electronic ones. Excuse me. That way, because essentially what was happening, and I'll use this gear since that door isn't disconnected. What happens with this particular design? So you got this little air cylinder right here, and that holds your strut, basically your block brace. And this brace has no stop on it, so it can go. If I disconnected this, I could pull it this way or push it that way. So there's a lot of force when this gear comes down on that little plastic clevis. I think an easy design fix would be for them to put a piece that on this side here, because as the gear comes down it folds over like that. So put a piece of metal, just extend it flat, so when this piece comes down it lays on top of this other brace, so it won't let it go over center, but it takes all the force of that off. But because they didn't do that, we had to come up with a fix, and I got this from EDF Jim. He has one of these. You guys have probably seen it at Florida Jets, and I kind of poked and prodded him quite often about things that has done. And what he did was he used the Jetronic valves, and he put he turned the throttle function on, and I didn't know those even had that until he mentioned it, and I kind of read into it. So what you can do is put a throttle function on the valve. So, and the default was 3 seconds. You can adjust it down to 1 second or up. I'm not sure how high it goes. But what you're essentially doing is slowing the gear on the down. Is all you have to do. And what sucks about that is you need all the force to get these things up. And as they come down, that popping is what snaps this little piece. So what we do is I lowered the delay on the up as much as you can. So essentially, you hit the switch, you'll hear it throttle for like a second, and then it'll go full air. Because as low as you can go when you turn the throttle function on is 1 second, unless there's a way to turn the up side off and leave the down on, but I haven't found it, and it doesn't say anything about it in the instructions. And then what happens, it'll start pulsing, and it'll slowly bring this thing down over a 6 second period. I did 8, but it was just too much. So I went with a 6 second. It works out fine. So, and that from what he said, that fixes this, because like I said, you still have the wind pushing down on it, but it's that slamming force of all the full air pressure that is what was breaking these. So hopefully that'll fix that, because you know, every F-14 I've seen has had a gear up landing, and I'm not all about having a scratched up jet from a gear up landing. Yeah, so I figured that out, got the gear working, holding air pressure. It works great. But then I had a problem with the gear doors. The gear doors were leaking like freaking water spouts, and there was some of them would leak, you know, around the fittings, and I'd go back and put some Hysol on the fittings. Others would leak internally. The O-ring would get blow by, so it would be hissing out your Jetronic valve, and I just got fed up. So essentially what I did was went and bought $200 and something worth of air cylinders from UP6, or not UP6, Ultra Precision. UP6 is their brake valve. But Ultra Precision Air, I was looking at these and the Robarts. The Robarts, a lot more pressure, a lot beefier, But the problem was they didn't have the sizes close enough to what I needed. And even the UPs still didn't. They've got some really odd size. Skymaster has some really odd sized air cylinders. So I got as close as I could to the originals, and I had to order 4 for the front, and 2 in the back were the same as the 4, so there were 6 of the same type, and then these 2 were different, followed by those 2, so 2, 4, 6, 10 air cylinders total, and they varied from 3 1/4 to 1 1/4 is what the ranges I went with. The 6 were 1 inch. I had 2 3/4 and 2 1 1/4. So that's about the best I could do. They're going in right now. They look good. I'm getting them I had to re-drill a couple of the mounting holes on the wood plate to kind of get the travel, because all these go further than the stock ones. So I'm trying to get them to where when the door closes, it's not still pulling on it. You know, you want it closed, but you don't want it like pulling on it too much. You know, you want it at its full stroke with it down and up essentially, but I can only get it one side. So I figured these have kind of a mechanical stop in them, so when they come up, even if the air cylinder is not extended all the way, it's good. And then when these come down, you got this nice little inside rail that these gear doors sit on, and it's pretty much no pressure at that one. But my battery's about to die, so that's just a little update. After this, it's done. You know, now I just got to go get it test flown. I have to recheck the CG because I moved some stuff around, but it's done and everything. So hopefully I'll have that project, but we'll save that for another day. But we'll see. You guys have a good one. Take it easy.